Thanks again for staying with us on the program, TMI Monday, with yours sincerely, Sonny Duke Okosun. Let's go straight to our conversation segment on the show as we look at local government administration, the challenges and the prospects. We're joined now by the Nalgay President, Edo State Chapter, Comrade Lazarus Adoro. Many thanks for joining us, Comrade.
It's a pleasure being with you.
Okay, let's start from the basics. I mean, we know that constitutionally we have 3 tiers of government, from the federal through the states and to the local government. And the structure is such a way that what you have at the federal is replicated at the state, and what you have at the state is replicated at the local government. But over the years, there have been concerns that for local government to be able to live up to the expectations of the people, it must be autonomous. And each time you bring this conversation on, there are, discordant tunes about how this autonomy should be achieved. But we'll get to that point. But let's look at it. What you make of this structure, and what do you think are the major defects in this structure that is impeding governance at the local government level?
Well, thank you so much. Like you have said, one of the major problems of local government is the 1999 Constitution, as it is currently. If you look at the federal and the state government, and everybody says local government is a child of government, the local government has not been given that opportunity to administer itself as a child of government by the 1999 Constitution, where, firstly, the issue of the conduct of local government election is the responsibility of the state ESSEC. Ordinarily, if that responsibility was given to the Independent National Electoral Commission, you will see that local government will better develop, because there will be opposition even at the local government level. In a situation where a ruling party is across the nation, in conducting local government, they return all their candidates as elected, no opposition. That does not give room for proper administration, and it is not healthy for democracy. That is one of the problems. And if you also go back to look at that, if, for example, in a family, the father has right to choose a wife for everybody, it means that there will be no disagreement. Everybody will just, whatever the father says, is carry go. So that is one of the major challenges of the local government. So if we must get it right, we must address it from that perspective. Go back and make the Constitution, allow the National Electoral Body, which is the Independent Electoral Commission, to conduct local government election, so that at least we start from there.
Okay. Over the years, one of the major concerns about local government administration is access to funds and revenue to be able to carry out its duties and responsibilities. What do you make of this? Because every now and then you hear of the state taking over some of the channels or streams of revenue of the local government. What do you make of this, and how do you think we can address this?
Well, firstly, when it comes to local government revenue, it has been a major challenge with all successive governments in Edo State and even in Nigeria as a country. Yes, before the coming of Godwin Obaseki, we had this problem where individuals were collecting local government revenue at the detriment of the local government system. Of course, he came up with a law which has helped the local government a little bit to improve on their revenue generation. You can hear some local government getting up to 50, 60 million.
Monthly?
Monthly. But there's also a challenge there. The process of collecting the revenue, the cost of collection, the burden is on local government. In terms of the sharing formula, the local government takes the least amount of the revenue collected. So when you give to the annuals, all the various unions that are involved, you now discover that local government will not have little or nothing to write home about. So when you hear that people say, okay, local government had 50 million naira as internal generated revenue. Where does the money go to? There are other union organizations that are involved in all of this. So now it's called that local government that bears the cost of collection of the revenue is even at the receiving end of it. So what I think should be done is that the cost of collecting the revenue should be borne by all the parties involved, not just the local government.
Okay. If you just join us, you're on to TMI Monday, and today we're just x-raying local government administration by virtue of some of the challenges that are inherent in the sector, with a view to ensuring that we can bring some measure of sanity to that tier of governance. And our guest today is the NOGGA President, Edo State Comrade Lazarus Adorolo. Many thanks again for joining us on the program. Let's quickly look at one other very thorny issue that has to do with local government. It borders on access to health. There are supposed to be primary healthcare centers at the local government level, but you see that every now and then the secondary health centers and the tertiary health centers tend to get overcrowded. So does that mean the primary healthcare centers, they are not working or they are not functional? What is actually the problem at that level?
Well, for the primary health care, which is a constitutional responsibility of the local government, if you go back to assess the healthcare services in Nigeria, with particular reference to Edo State, they have not done badly, because if you look around the various communities, you find that there are health facilities across the state, but the manpower is not there. Where one health worker has to work 24 hours is a problem, is a factor. So we must address the issue of inadequate manpower in the local government primary health care. And if you address that, we'll be able to overcome.
How do you think we can address that? There have been complaints that in some instances, some of the health workers at the local government level are transferred to the state level. So what do you make of that? Who bears the burden at that level?
I think the recent transfer of health workers to the agency by the state government is born out of the fact that there is the National Primary Care Development Agency, which also has to be replicated at the state level, which is state primary care agency.
Okay.
But the law did not automatically say that local government workers must now be transferred to the agency. But in the Edo State House of Assembly, in amending that law, we have a principal law and amended law. Okay. The principal law didn't say local government workers should be transferred to the agency, but the amended law now said they should be transferred to the agency. To us, I think it's not in good faith, because if you look across the secondary health care, how well have they been empowered? How well have they catered for the people they are supposed to cater for? We are now adding another responsibility to the state government, and of course, we are saying no to that. But since there's already a law, the government had gone ahead to do that. But the Nigerian Constitution said primary health care is the sole responsibility of the local government, and therefore the local government should be allowed to carry out its functions.
Primary health care is the duty of the local government.
Yeah.
That's what the Constitution provides. Yeah. Okay, what's your model? If you have people being transferred from PAC to, for example, the state Primary Healthcare Development Agency, which is a replication of the National Healthcare Primary Healthcare Development Agency, what do you think should be done to fill those gaps created by those who have been transferred? Do you think employment of new healthcare officials will help to achieve that?
There's no way you cannot create employment of new health officials at the local government, because right now what has happened is that the state government has taken the responsibility of primary health care from the local government to the agency.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
So the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency
is now in charge of primary health care across the state.
But will that not help in the regulation, monitoring, evaluation, and functionality of the primary healthcare system?
Firstly, the primary health care, as it were, there was really no problem when it comes to supervision. The people were there, but they were not enough. So what I think the state government ought to have done was to recruit more manpower to the local government primary health care, and also allow the agency to play a supervisory role, while the local government service commission will still be in charge of recruitment, promotion, and transfer of health workers, primary care workers in the local government.
Let me take you back to something you said a while ago, that with the structure of revenue generation, revenue collection that was created under the present administration, some local government gets close to 60 million naira monthly, 50 million naira monthly, depends on the strength and capacity of those local governments. But you're of the view that your greatest concern is that in spite of that amount, what gets to the local government is a far cry.
It's a minimal
because of the cost of collection of those money. But prior to this time, what the local governments were getting was pretty poor compared to what they are. Isn't that a plus?
That is why we at the local government level will commend the present administration of Godwin Obaseki.
Okay.
Because when it comes to revenue generation, it accepts to at least make the local government understand what they should do, how they should do it to get themselves from where they were to where they are presently.
Okay.
But recently, the Edo State Inland Revenue Services is also encroaching on local government revenue, which we are still battling today. And that will also create more problems for the local government.
When you say encroaching, in which area are they encroaching?
For example, the issue of stores or kiosks is the sole responsibility of the local government constitutionally. But right now, the Edo State Inland Revenue Services is going into that to say that, oh, we want to do an harmonized revenue collection.
Okay.
When you say harmonized revenue collection, what does it mean? What is going to be the local government input? We have the manpower as far as local revenue collection is concerned. What I expect the state government to do is to monitor the revenue being collected by the local government like it has been for the past 4 years since Obaseki came into administration. You don't just play with the local government revenue at that level. So if we continue to build on that, it will be better for us. Yes, the local government still collect some revenue on behalf of the state government, like this other revenue we collect on behalf of the state government. When we collect that revenue, it goes into an account where the state government monitors what enters at the end of every month, and they take their percentage at the end of every month. So if you must collect revenue for local government on behalf of local government, the local government must also have access to that particular account, so that we know what gets in there. So at the end of the month, we also know what is our own share of it.
That's not been done now.
No, it's not been done.
Okay, let's quickly look at because revenue has increased at the local government.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
But why is it not reflective on the welfare, salaries, and allowances of local government? I said that to say this. How do you respond to insinuations in some quarters that local government is back to those dark eras, particularly in those states where council staff are being owed months and months of unpaid salaries, 8 months, 5 months, 6 months, 3 months, as the case may be. Yet the local government are said to be more liquid in terms of revenue generation. I mean, based on the available statistics, what is responsible?
Well, I think when it comes to issue of salaries, we have a major problem which is yet to be addressed by successive government, which has to do with the primary school teacher's salary. The local government bears the responsibility of payment of primary school teacher's salary only. And I think the constitutional provision says local government shall play or should play a participatory role in primary school administration. But today we carry the responsibility. We build classrooms, we provide desks, yet we still pay the salary. So we are appealing to the state government to come to the aid of the local government in terms of primary school teachers' salary payment. But of course, issue of non-payment of salary to the local government has been a problem even from 1999. I recall as a branch chairman of a local government in Isako West, between 2003 and 2004, we had the same challenge in the local government across the state. But of course, the revenue accrued to the local government for the federation account improved, and local government were now able to take care of their salary. If you look at, even in the days of Ushomole, we also had this problem where Igor, Isako West, Orion were also having unpaid salaries. And at the time, the federal government provided bailout fund, which now took care of that.
Okay.
But today, there's nothing like bailout fund. So we are managing the lean resources coming from the federation account, which is shared to the local government, and the revenue which is accrued to us based on the increase in revenue generation in the local government. But don't forget quickly that last year, we also had a global problem, which has to be the COVID-19, and the revenue dropped sharply, and that also affected our inability to pay salary. But I must say that, give it to this present administration that the salary payment in the local government has also increased, because over the years, for 6 years, we didn't earn promotion and the minimum wage. So this is also a factor affecting the non-payment of salary at the local government level.
How do you say the salary has improved when there are councils being owed 8 months, 5 months, 6 months?
Okay, when I say it has improved, before the council chairman left, the allocation that was coming to the local government was not barely enough to even pay 0.5% of our salaries. But today, for the past 4 or 5 months, every council cannot pay salary in full. The salary for the political class has also been removed now, because at least they are no longer there as a body to the local government. So that which we are using to pay their salary is also taking care of some percentage of the local government workers' salary.
Okay. Does that mean you are in support of the absence of constitutionally elected officials at the local government level? Does that mean is in support of it? Because you said a while ago that the salaries of these political appointees or political office holders is not there. That seems to have given the council some leverage.
We are not happy that the elected politicians are not there. But of course, for the fact that we have not been able to at least solve the problem of the local government, or they were unable to solve the problem of the local government, and we are unable to pay salaries, it will be unreasonable for you to now bring in more body to the local government when we are having that challenge of inability to pay salary. Of course, they are not coming there to fold their hands. They will also be thinking of how to execute projects. Yeah. So if you are that they come in, they cannot execute projects, it means that they've not been able to meet up with the union. So which means you are in support of
elected officials not coming in?
If a system has not improved,
yes.
If a system has not improved,
yes, and
you have also not helped the system to improve within a particular time, it means that we begin to address the problem. Yeah, you cannot come and add additional body to the local government now, where workers' salaries are not.
Isn't this against the Constitution?
Well, you might say it's against the Constitution. I agree with you that it's against the Constitution. But if we must address that, like I said, let's go back to the basis. Let's go back to the basis.
And what is the basis, in your opinion?
The basis is that the 1999 Constitution should be amended. That local government should now be an autonomous tier of government, not merely say, oh, is it third tier of government. How well has that been implemented?
Okay, I'll get back to you in a moment, but I just want to thank you again for coming on the program. It's still TMI Monday, and looking at the challenges bedeviling local government administration in Nigeria, and what are the prospects if local government were to be autonomous, as many analysts have advanced. But there is a trend that has been part and parcel of governance. The trend is most state executives do away with elected officials at the local government. Our constitution or our history is replete with several instances where certain state governors just go on that full throttle of non-conduct of elections at the local government to bring forth the executive, the legislature at the local government level. And this has become a pattern. So if you are saying that, what's the use having them here when the revenue has not improved? So that, in a sense, could mean that, well, perhaps the status quo should remain. Do you anticipate any time soon that the revenue will improve, that will perhaps create the platform or the environment for the elections at the local government level to take place?
Yeah, for me, like I said, if the local government is the third child of government and is given the full responsibility to administer itself and its resources, the local government will do better. And if the National Independent Electoral Commission conducts local government election, the administration will be free of interference both from state and even the national level. And I think the local government will feel better. What is happening in the local government is a national issue. It's not just restricted to Edo State. It's a national issue. And I think it can only be addressed at that level. If you look at successive government, of course, my predecessor used to come here. They talk about local government autonomy, inability to pay salaries, and yet we had different persons who were governors in Edo State before the incoming, before the present government. So it's not just what is happening now. It has been a problem. Okay. And the only way we can address that is for us to address the constitutional issue, which giving local government autonomy, so that local government should be able to feel for themselves. And if a particular local government chairman is failing, the people are there to assess the chairman. It will be easy to throw the person out because it's governance at the grassroots level. They will also assess the way you live, all the sorts of these things. So it will be difficult for you to say, okay, you want to impose yourself on the people when the people vote against you. And if the election is being conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission, it will be easier. Let me take you back to 1999, the first election that brought in the first council chairman in 1999. You have, in Edo State, you have 3 political parties that were from the opposition. And I'm sure in assessing their performance, those councils came out better. They came out better. So in a situation where you want to conduct local government election, the party in power will return all the candidates as elected. It really does not mean well. It means that if, for example, the current president of Nigeria or the president of Nigeria at any point in time want to say today, my party, all the governors must come from my party, it means that we're already running into a one-party system. And I think that is where the problem of local government is. Currently, we have been going around the nation, clamoring for local government autonomy. We are talking about security challenges today, the local government. Why is the security challenges there? They are there because the local government is not being empowered constitutionally to play the role it ought to be playing. If, for example, the crime or the criminals, they live within the localities. Yeah. If you have the local police, which are within the local government and are known by the people, they will be able to deter those criminals. And I think it will give the state a better approach to better life. Okay,
fantastic. Quickly before we call it a wrap, there's always this feeling that civil servants, just there at the end of the month, they collect their salaries, allowances and what have you. What is really the worth or the value of their contribution to the development of the society? What do you make of this school of thought?
Well, if the civil service was not there, it means that there would have been no administration. And it is only when you express it that you know that they have contributed so much to national development and that they will continue to contribute to national development.
All right, I want to thank you again for coming on the program, Comrade Lazarus Dorolo. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, President Norge at Edo State, we appreciate you. It's TMI Monday. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with you with the rest of the interview segments on the show. Don't go away.